Assalamu alaikum dear students. Welcome to the course of International Relations for undergraduate classes conducted by ComSID Institute of Information Technology, Virtual Campus Islamabad. Dear students, we were discussing the US foreign policy and we discussed the major goals of US foreign policy, जिसमें हमने बताया कि जो foreign policy का major goal है तो वो territorial integrity है, then the protection of allies है. US also try to maintain balance of power in the region and in the world. US also tries to foster international security through UN efforts. US also try to protect strategic resources and not only of its own but also of the other states, and therefore tries to protect the strategic assets. US has interest in free navigation. It wants that there should be free navigations and there should be following and compliance to international principles. इसी के साथ US also try to promote its business and commercial activities and business and commercial interest. US foreign policy also aim at protecting the violation of human rights and democratic institutions. Who are involved in US foreign policy? We discussed that US President, being the chief executive, has the major responsibility. He is the chief diplomat. He has a foreign office working under him and therefore he controls all the aspects of foreign policy. उसके बाद जो US Senate है उसका रोल आता है जो कि treaties को अप्रूव करता है और इसी के साथ वो appointments जो कि US करता है, जिस तरह ambassadors हैं, जिस तरह commission in the armed forces है, so they are also subject to being approved by Senate. And then other pressure groups are the vested interest, the different types of organizations, the ethnic and religious groups, and the business and economic groups, and the public opinion. They also helped in modifying the foreign policy which are adopted by US President. Then we were discussing about the change in US foreign policy after World War II. Before World War II, US was adopting a policy of isolation, not to worry about the other countries and the world. लेकिन दूसरी जंग अज़ीम के बाद US मजबूर हुआ कि वो अपनी पॉलिसी पे नज़रसानी करे, अपनी पॉलिसी जो उसकी आइसोलेशन की पॉलिसी है उसको तर्क कर दे, जिसकी वजह कोल्ड वॉर दिया. And it was the rivalry between communism and capitalism. While Russia was trying to expand and communism was expanding in the Eastern Europe, US feared that कि अगर अब इसने इंटरफेयर नहीं किया और अपने आप को एक्टिवली इन्वॉल्व नहीं किया, so maybe the communism destroys all the public property and therefore would become a threat to the capitalistic states, the democratic principles and private property. Therefore US was completely active in changing its foreign policy stand. So we continue again from the same point. From 1945 to 91, US foreign policy was to contain communism, and the collapse of Soviet Union ended the last serious challenge for territorial dominion over Eurasia. The primary goal of America foreign policy was achieved. तो आप देख सकते हैं कि World War II, which was finished in 1945, so from 45 till 1991, US was completely struggling how to contain communism, how to weak the forces of communism, and finally it was successful when Soviet Union disintegrated in 1991. तो जो उसका एक पॉलिसी का महवर था कि कम्युनिज्म के खतरे को ख़त्म करना है, तो वो ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीव हो गया. US foreign policy was successful in ending the influence of communism, and as a result Soviet Union was disintegrated and the threat also ended. After Soviet Union disintegration, US foreign policy was focused on consolidating its success. अब जो foreign policy का महवर चेंज हो रहा है, जो थ्रेट फ्रॉम कम्युनिज्म था अब वो नहीं रहा. अब यूएस ने अपनी पोजीशन को मजबूत करना है, अपनी जो फतूहात हैं उसको मज़ीद मजबूत करना है, उसको मज़ीद सस्टेन करना है. Therefore, US foreign policy was aimed at consolidating and strengthening its position in the world, because now US was the only superpower that was left. Together with its European allies, the US set out to create, for the first time in history, a peaceful, undivided, and democratic Europe, and Eastern Europe states were added to NATO. So you can see that the change was very drastic. Now, not only the NATO members were increased, but also the countries that were formerly member of Warsaw Pact, जो कि ईस्टर्न यूरोपियन कंट्रीज हैं जिनसे पहले खतरा था, अब उनको भी अमेरिका ने दावत दी and they were made the members of NATO. So you can see that how US has made enemy a friend and make them member of NATO, thereby strengthening the position of itself and its allies and befriending its enemies. So the US foreign policy was aimed at strengthening its position. In Asia, a US relation with its two key regional partners, Japan and South Korea, remains the foundation of regional stability. Democracy is taking root in South Korea, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Taiwan. US engagement with China is slowly tying an economically surging Beijing in the global economy. So the change is there. The US is participating in the world affairs. It is now active, and after World War II, it start influencing and involving in different regions. उससे पहले भी involved था, लेकिन अब उसकी engagement ज़्यादा हो गई. So we see that the countries which were not very friendly towards US, after the demise of Soviet Union, their attitude also changed, and democratic forces, democratic system start gaining support in Asia. इसी के साथ US also start engaging China. हालांकि चाइना में कम्युनिज्म है, लेकिन US ने चाइना को भी इंगेज करना शुरू कर दिया, क्योंकि चाइना एक बड़ी पॉपुलेशन है, एक बड़ी मार्केट है, एक बड़ी इकोनॉमी है. So US intense engagement with China also involved China in the international affairs, and as a result, the relation between the two powers are now on the increase. The success of American policy at present is that no power possess a hegemonic threat to Eurasia. तो हम देख रहे हैं कि ये यूएस की फॉरेन पॉलिसी की कामयाबी है कि आजकल दुनिया में कोई ऐसी कंट्री नहीं है जो कि इंटरनेशनल पीस को थ्रेट कर सके, जो कि दुनिया के अमन के लिए खतरा हो, क्योंकि हर कंट्री is now living peacefully, and the objective is that there is a balance of power in different parts of the world. As a result, there should be no threat to the peace of the world. So we can see that there is complete peace in Europe as well as in Asia. What are the tools for the conduct of foreign policy? अमेरिका जब अपनी फॉरेन पॉलिसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करता है तो उसके पास कौन से ऐसे टूल्स हैं, कौन से ऐसे आलात हैं, कौन से ऐसे हथियार हैं जिसको वो यूज़ करता है अपनी फॉरेन पॉलिसी को इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए, अपनी नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को प्रमोट करने के लिए. आखिर वो किस तरह अपनी फॉरेन पॉलिसी को और अपनी नेशनल इंटरेस्ट को प्रमोट करता है और प्रोटेक्ट करता है. Let us understand about these tools. So the first is diplomacy, in which the US, through negotiations, through talks, through agreements, it promotes its policy. So one is through negotiations and through talks, US promotes its national interest and hold its foreign policy. The second is foreign aid. अगर कोई country बात नहीं मान रही हो तो US क्या कर सकता है? US उसको foreign aid देगा. So the aid or the assistance through different agencies, through different types of banks, organizations, even USAID का इदारा है that is established there, and it provides different kind of funds for different activities in that country. Therefore, the interest is promoted through foreign aid as well. The next is through foreign trade, जिसमें अमेरिका बाकायदा उस मुल्क के साथ तिजारत को प्रमोट करता है. And in this kind of trade, what is the policy? The policy is to reduce tariff so that the other country can easily sell its product in US or its markets. Or the country is given a very special status. जिसका नाम है MFN, which means Most Favored Nations, जिसमें अमेरिका उस कंट्री के लिए बाकायदा टैक्स की छूट दे देता है, टैक्स में कमी कर देता है ताकि उसके प्रोडक्ट्स वहाँ पे सस्ते बिक सकें. And in this, the trade of that country is promoted in US markets. Or it can go for different types of market access. अपनी जितनी भी मार्केट्स हैं, जितनी भी आलमी मंडियां हैं, वहाँ पे उस कंट्री के प्रोडक्ट्स को रसाई दे देता है. As a result, the country become friendly with US and therefore US has its own interest promoted. इसके साथ प्रोपेगेंडा है, in which the US government can go for a propaganda against any country if it is becoming a threat to US foreign policy, जिसमें different types of media पे वो उसके खिलाफ प्रोपेगेंडा कर सकता है. उसमें डिलीवरिंग स्पीचेस उसके खिलाफ मुख्तलिफ किस्म की तकारीर होती रहती हैं. फॉरेन ऑफिस के स्टेटमेंट्स हैं जिसमें बाकायदा वहाँ का जो फॉरेन ऑफिस है, इट इशूज डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ स्टेटमेंट्स. इवन देयर आर ब्रीफिंग्स, डेली ब्रीफिंग्स या वीकली ब्रीफिंग्स में दे कैन मेक प्रोपेगेंडा अगेंस्ट द एक्शंस एंड एक्टिविटीज ऑफ द हॉस्टाइल स्टेट्स. इसी के साथ पब्लिकली स्कोल्डिंग अ कंट्री एक्शन, वहाँ पे जो भी कोई बुरी बातें हो रही हों, कोई बुरे काम हो रहे हों, कोई एक्शंस which are not liked by US, so that is publicly scolded by the US leaders in different types of gatherings. As a result, this propaganda also works in promoting foreign policy. Then America can also introduce different kind of programs, जिसमें cultural exchange programs है. In these programs, US can offer different types of scholarships. There can be exchange of scholars, exchange of students, the exchange and visits of teachers from both the countries, even the exchange of scientists and the exchange of technical information and technical personnel, and there can be different types of games and tournaments and the exchange and the visits of player as well. Then it can also resort to intelligence operations, जहाँ पे खुफिया एजेंसी के ज़रिए अमेरिका मालूमात हासिल करता है और इसी के ज़रिए फिर अपने इंटरेस्ट को प्रोमोट भी कर सकता है. सो इन दिस द यूएस इन्वॉल्व्ड different kind of intelligence agencies, and it can also even invite and can consult private contractors who can work for US interest in that country and promote US interest in that country. इसी के साथ it can also ask the diplomats, different diplomats or even the diplomats of US, they can also send reports and different types of secret briefings to help their state in adapting a policy towards that state. तो ये जो diplomats हैं, through their working, US can also watch and see different types of operations and the confidential reports. जिस तरह एबटाबाद ऑपरेशन पाकिस्तान में हुआ. US can also adopt a policy of subversion, which means that government is changed. That can be changed through creating political instability or assisting opposition. अगर कोई गवर्नमेंट काफ़ी हॉस्टाइल हो, यूएस के इंटरेस्ट के खिलाफ काम कर रही हो, यूएस के साथ फ्रेंडली ना हो, तो यूएस वहाँ पे पॉलिटिकल इंस्टेबिलिटी बना सकता है by helping the opposition parties, by helping the parties which are working against the government. And sometime such kind of situation may be created कि जहाँ पे opposition इतनी strong हो जाए कि it can topple the government, and therefore then there would be a friendly government established or installed in that state which would be having good relations and good attitude towards US. जिस तरह इराक में हुआ, where US has toppled the government of Saddam because it was not friendly. इसी तरह सीरिया में US is assisting the opposition groups to topple the leaders. इस तरह इजिप्ट में हुआ, इस तरह लीबिया में मुअम्मर कज़ाफ़ी की गवर्नमेंट को ख़त्म किया गया, इसी तरह अफगानिस्तान में भी हो रहा है. So these are how the US then go for changing the governments through assisting the opposition parties or the other groups in order to form resistance against the leaders and topple their governments. इसी के साथ US can also go for trade embargo, जिसमें वो उस कंट्री के खिलाफ कोई इकोनॉमिक सैंक्शंस, ट्रेड सैंक्शंस या तिजारती पाबंदियां उसके ऊपर लगा देता है, जिसकी वजह से उनके जो प्रोडक्ट्स हैं वो बाहर की मार्केट्स में सेल नहीं होती। वो मार्केट्स जो कि US के इन्फ्लुएंस में है, तो वहाँ पे उस इंटरनेशनल मार्केट्स में कोई कंट्री अपनी प्रोडक्ट को नहीं बेच सकता। तो जाहिर बात है, दिस मीन्स दैट दैट कंट्री कैन नॉट export its products and cannot earn income from its products, which is again a very severe kind of punishment. इसी तरह denying market access to that country or denial of raw material to that country, which can make the country again follow the policies of not becoming hostile to American policy. इसी तरह US can also freeze the assets and accounts of that country. It can seize the assets. उनके जो बैरूनी असासाजात हैं, उनके जो बैंक अकाउंट्स हैं, उनको मुंजमद कर सकता है, जिस तरह ईरान के साथ किया गया है। Another tool is breaking diplomatic relations. इसमें अमेरिका अपने तिजारती ताल्लुकात किसी मुल्क के साथ मुनक़ती कर लेता है, जिस तरह कॉलिंग ऑफ एम्बेसडर्स, अपने एम्बेसडर को बुला लेना या वहाँ के लोगों को वीज़ा ना देना, नॉट रिकॉग्नाइजिंग अ स्टेट, किसी स्टेट को तस्लीम ना करना, उसको एज अ रॉक स्टेट का खिताब देना, टर्मिंग एज अ टेररिस्ट, उसको दहशतगर्द कहना, अनडेमोक्रेटिक या उसको अनडेमोक्रेटिक कहना, जिसकी वजह से उस स्टेट की साख कमज़ोर हो जाती है। इसी तरह इट कैन आल्सो आस्क इट्स सिटीजन नॉट टू विजिट दैट कंट्री, तो अपने बाशिंदों को अगर वहाँ उस कंट्री का विजिट करने से वो रोक दे, जिसकी वजह से वहाँ पे डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ एक्टिविटीज़ या प्रोजेक्ट्स या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं आती है, एंड एज अ रिजल्ट द टूरिज्म आल्सो इफेक्टेड इन दैट कंट्री, which can make the country again crippled and can again become friendly towards US. US can also have another tool which is called gunboat diplomacy. What is gunboat diplomacy? जिस तरह आपको नाम से जाहिर हो रहा है, it is relation involving the use of threat or military force, especially by a powerful nation against a weaker state. जिसमें एक पावरफुल कंट्री दूसरे कंट्री को बाकायदा धमकी देती है, और कभी कभी धमकी देने से भी काम हो जाता है। तो अगर कोई कंट्री US के इंटरेस्ट के खिलाफ काम कर रही हो, उसकी बात या पॉलिसी नहीं मान रही हो, तो US गन बोर्ड पॉलिसी का इस्तेमाल करता है, जिसमें वो उस स्टेट को धमकी देता है कि वो उसके खिलाफ कोई एक्शन ले सकता है, या उसके कोई इंस्टॉलेशन को रोक सकता है, या वहाँ पे वो उसके खिलाफ कोई मिलिट्री एक्सरसाइज कर सकता है। तो जैसे ही वो अपनी फौजों को ये हुक्म देता है और उस स्टेट के ऊपर हमला करने के लिए वो उसको आमादा करता है, या वहाँ पे सिर्फ मूवमेंट ऑफ शिप्स भी आ जाती हैं, तो जिसकी वजह से वो दूसरा कंट्री हो सकता है कि इट बिकम fearful of that action and then it can become friendly towards US. इसी के साथ US also has another tool which is called military maneuver, जिसमें बाकायदा वो वहाँ पे जंगी मशक़ें कर लेता है, वहाँ पे उसके ऊपर अटैक कर लेता है, and as a result this use of force and the use of weapons can again be very deadly and very horrible as well. ये जो military actions हैं, so we can see these kind of military actions in Vietnam, in Korea, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya. ये सारे वो states हैं जहाँ पे बाकायदा US ने बाकायदा हेल्प की है, और वहाँ पे आर्म्ड कन्फ्लिक्ट्स हुए हैं, जिसकी वजह से अगेन the US interests were promoted. US can also use blockade. Blockade में ये फ़र्क है कि US would not allow the movement of any trade activity from that country on which the blockade is put, which means कि अगर किसी कंट्री के ऊपर ब्लॉकेड लगा दिया, तो फिर वहाँ पे कोई भी सामान वहाँ से बाहर नहीं जा सकता, ना बाहर से कोई सामान अंदर आ सकता है। मतलब एक रियासत को सील कर दिया गया है, जिसकी वजह से when a state is cut off from the world, this means it will be badly affected its economy would be badly affected, which is very dangerous for that state. जिसमें इराक के खिलाफ during Gulf War there was a blockade. During Cuban Missile Crisis, US also enforced a blockade on Cuba, and in Libya there was oil blockade. So these were some of the tools which the US conduct and US use for the conduct of its foreign policy. अजीज तलबा, हमारा नया टॉपिक है US and Soviet Union relations. So let us see how the relations between these two superpowers were progressed during the Cold War and after Cold War. We can see that US before World War II and even during World War I, US became very angry with Soviet Union for withdrawing from World War I in 1917 and therefore adopting communism. तो क्या हुआ 1917 में सोवियत यूनियन ने फैसला किया कि जब वहाँ पे इनकलाब आया, so Soviet Union withdraw from the World War I. सोवियत यूनियन ने ऐलान किया कि वो जंग नहीं लड़ रहा, so it make itself go out of the war, on which United States was very angry, and also because US was angry that Soviet Union has adopted communism because of that revolution. As a result, the diplomatic relations between the two states were not established. In 1933, the diplomatic relations between the two states were finally established. Then during World War II, the world saw that both the countries formed grand alliance to struggle against common enemy. तो दोनों जंग में एक दूसरे के करीब आए और दोनों ने जर्मनी के खिलाफ जंग लड़ी. दोनों दोस्त बन चुके थे during World War II. But after World War II, we see the situation again becoming tense. लेकिन during World War II, these countries were very friendly. They came very near to each other. How? Because US helped Soviet Union with supply of military assistance worth $11 billion and other aid under Land Lease Agreement. तो दूसरी जंगी अजीम के दौरान में यूएस ने काफ़ी हेल्प की सोवियत यूनियन की, उसको बाकायदा खुराक दिया क्योंकि वहाँ पे खुराक की कमी थी. इसी के साथ सोवियत यूनियन को काफ़ी फौजी इमदाद दी गई जो कि ऑलमोस्ट $11 बिलियन के करीब बनती है. इसी के साथ यूएस ने सोवियत यूनियन को बाकायदा कर्जा दिया कि पैसे आप बाद में दे दें, लेकिन जो उनकी ज़रूरत है उसी के मुताबिक उनको चीज़ें प्रोवाइड की जाती. So due to Soviet Union expansionist policy to spread communism, US abandoned isolation policy and get deeply involved in foreign relations with Europe, Asia and Africa. So it was because of the foreign policy and the expansion policy of Soviet Union that America was finally forced, it was compelled, it was convinced to change its policy of isolation. And therefore US, because of the expanding communism threat, it started involving in Asia, Africa and Western Europe and start engaging these countries. US therefore introduced Truman Doctrine in 1947 to aid Greece and Turkey to prevent the spread of communism in these states. तो 1947 में यूएस ने बाकायदा ग्रीस को, यूनान को और तुर्की को इमदाद दी ताकि वहाँ पे कम्युनिज्म को स्प्रेड होने से बचाया जाए, क्योंकि ये जो स्टेट्स हैं ये जंग की वजह से काफ़ी कमज़ोर हो चुके थे. यूएस ने महसूस किया कि अगर इन कंट्रीज़ को और इसके अलावा जो बाकी यूरोपियन कंट्रीज़ हैं उनकी इमदाद न की जाए तो हो सकता है कि गुर्बत की वजह से वहाँ पे कम्युनिज्म लोगों के दिलों में ज़्यादा फेवरेबल हो जाए, जिसकी वजह से वहाँ पे कम्युनिज्म ईजिली फैल सकता है. इसीलिए यूएस स्टार्ट गिविंग एड एंड फंड्स टू दिस यूरोपियन कंट्रीज सो दैट दे कैन स्टॉप द ग्रोथ ऑफ कम्युनिज्म. यूएस therefore announced Marshall Plan again in 1947 to provide economic and military assistance to war-ravaged Europe in reconstruction and to contain communism. and to revitalized their economy. अब उसके बाद क्या हुआ, जब यूएस ये फंड दे रहा है टू वेस्टर्न यूरोप कंट्रीज, कैन वी सी दैट सोवियत यूनियन इज नॉट लाइकिंग दिस इनिशिएटिव. सोवियत यूनियन इज टेकिंग इट एज अ थ्रेट कि भाई ये जो यूएस सारे मुल्कों की हेल्प कर रहा है और उनको इमदाद दे रहा है, तो मेरे सिस्टम को रोकने के लिए कर रहा है. Therefore, Soviet Union was very apprehensive. It disliked this policy of US, and therefore the Cold War between the two intensified. It grew because of these foreign policies. While Soviet Union enforced communism in Eastern Europe and an Iron Curtain descent across the continent, तो साथ में सोवियत यूनियन भी अपना काम कर रहा है. वो ईस्टर्न यूरोप में कम्युनिज्म को फैला रहा है, वहाँ पे स्प्रेड हो रहा है, जिसकी वजह से ईस्टर्न यूरोप भी मजबूत हो रहा है और वहाँ पे एक आयरन कर्टन बन चुका है, जिसको पहले बताया जा चुका है कि व्हाट इज आयरन कर्टन. सोवियत यूनियन ब्लॉकेड ऑफ बर्लिन in 1948 resulted in an year-long airlift of aid by US that helped the people during the blockade. अब चूंकि सोवियत यूनियन की भी नहीं लगती जो बाकी कंट्रीज हैं ऑफ द यूरोप, तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि उन्होंने बर्लिन वॉल को बर्लिन में ब्लॉकेड बना दिया, बर्लिन को ब्लॉक कर दिया, ताकि जो यूएस है और उसके जो दोस्त ममालिक हैं वो बर्लिन ना आ सकें और वहाँ की लोगों की हेल्प ना कर सकें. तो जिसकी जवाब में क्या किया, यूएस एंड इट्स एलाइज स्टार्ट गोइंग फॉर एन एयरलिफ्ट ऑफ ईट. उन्होंने इमदाद उस एरिया तक जो कि जगह ब्लॉक हो चुकी थी, वहाँ पे इमदाद जहाज के जरिए भेजने शुरू कर दी. तो ये जहाज जो कि यूरोपियन कंट्री से जाते और अमेरिका की हेल्प से जाते, सो दे प्रोवाइड एड एंड असिस्टेंस to the people that were living in Berlin and they were under the blockade because Russia has put a blockade so that they cannot move by road. But when US and its allies starting the airlift, the Soviet Union did not block that airlift. तो इसी तरह उनको काफ़ी खर्चा तो आया, लेकिन उन्हें पूरे एक साल तक वहाँ के लोगों की मदद की और थ्रू एयरलिफ्ट they provide all kind of aid and assistance. But because of this conflict and these kind of activities, the relation between the two were not good. Then US formed NATO in 1949 for collective security of the Western European countries. And again, this was not liked by Soviet Union. What Soviet Union did in the same year was it tested its nuclear bomb, and as a result, again the two become very fearful because अब दोनों के पास एटमी हथियार आ गए हैं, which were dangerous for even the security of the world. US signed treaties with Japan, Australia and New Zealand in 1951 for collective security. So because US was now feeling threat from Soviet Union, US made treaties with other countries, जिसमें जापान है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया है और न्यूजीलैंड है, for collective security, which means they would be responsible for the security of all of them, and therefore they would be helping each other in case of any threat or war. Meanwhile, SEATO was formed in 1954 and CENTO in 1955 against communism. Because these organizations were formed for containing communism, for stopping the growth of communism, again Soviet Union was not happy with these organizations that were formed. As a result, Soviet Union formed Warsaw Pact in 1955 to counter NATO's power with Eastern European countries. तो सोवियत यूनियन ने ईस्टर्न यूरोपियन कंट्रीज हैं उनको मिला के 1955 में वार्सा पैक्ट बना दिया, which was against the NATO forces. In October 1961, the Cuban Missile Crisis took the two very close to a nuclear war. So 1961 में जो क्यूबन मिसाइल क्राइसिस है, जिसकी वजह से भी दोनों ममालिक काफ़ी करीब एक न्यूक्लियाई वॉर के करीब आ गए थे. They were very close for a nuclear war, and nuclear conflict because Soviet Union installed some missiles in Cuba, which was very close to America. So America feared that Soviet Union wants to target America through a nearby country which was Cuba, जिसकी वजह से अमेरिका ने भी क्यूबा को धमकी दे दी कि it will attack Cuba because it is feeling a threat from Cuba. And because of it, the Soviet Union and US, they were very close to a war, but then with the efforts of international organization like UN, this crisis was finally resolved, जिसकी वजह से सोवियत यूनियन ने वहाँ से अपनी मिसाइल निकाल लिए और जिसकी वजह से अमेरिका ने भी फिर कुछ इकदाम किए ताकि सोवियत यूनियन की जो एप्रीहेंशंस है, जो टेंशन है, वो कम हो जाए. इसी के बाद वी saw the decade of 70s in which detente developed between the two countries. Detente means there comes friendly relations between the two countries. तो ये डिटांट या जो दोनों में दोस्ती है ये 70 की दिहाई में आई है, जिसकी वजह से दोनों स्टेट्स ने अपने एक दूसरे के साथ कॉपरेशन शुरू की इन डिफरेंट फील्ड्स. दिस में इंक्लूड टेक्नोलॉजी, हेल्थ, मेडिकल साइंस, environmental protection, and for disarmament, for reducing weapons. As a result, they were gaining more confidence when they start signing these kind of agreements on disarmaments, जिसमें SALT 1 है, which was signed in 1972, and SALT 2 was signed in 1979 between the two countries. And these treaties were aimed at reducing their arms, abolishing their nuclear weapons and weapons of mass destruction, जिसकी वजह से दोनों में अच्छे ताल्लुकात बन रहे थे. The tension again increases in 1979. Although there was friendship between the two countries, लेकिन एकदम ये जो इनमें दोस्ती बन गई थी, इसको फिर दचका मिला जब इसी साल में सोवियत यूनियन अटैक्ड अफगानिस्तान. And US again start visualizing कि सोवियत यूनियन अपनी एक्सपेंशन दोबारा कर रहा है, कम्युनिज्म को एक्सपेंड करना चाहता है, अपने इन्फ्लुएंस को बढ़ाना चाहता है. तो इसीलिए अगेंस्ट यूनाइटेड स्टेट again came into conflict with Soviet Union. The relation between the two again become worst, and United States start helping Afghanistan and the Afghani people through different kind of military and economic assistance. US and her allies imposed economic sanctions on Soviet Union due to her support and human rights violation in Kampuchea. So because US saw that, US observed that Soviet Union was involved in supporting human rights violation in Kampuchea, इसलिए यूनाइटेड स्टेट ने सोवियत यूनियन के ऊपर इकोनॉमिक सैंक्शंस लगा दिए, उसके ऊपर तजारती पाबंदियां लगा दी, जिसकी वजह से सोवियत यूनियन को भी ज़रा सा तैश आया, वो भी एजिटेट हुआ. एज अ रिजल्ट सोवियत यूनियन boycott the Olympic Games that were held in America in Los Angeles in 1984, and therefore it did not join these Olympic Games. However, the two superpowers realized that the strained relations are not in their favor, and again they start improving their relations. Because these tense relations were resulting in more conflicts, they were resulting in more tension. Therefore, the two countries realized that now they should again talk, they should again engage with each other, and their relation should be more friendly. Isliye, in 1985, the foreign ministers of the two states meet in Geneva and hold talks on disarmament, and they again start discussion on reducing their weapons. Because when you reduce weapons, this lead to reduction in tension and reduction in crisis, reduction in conflict. US President Bush and Gorbachev also met in 1986 and made a significant contribution on reducing arms. The Moscow Summit, in which the two countries again exchanged documents and they signed different treaties, जिसमें INF की treaty शामिल है. INF is Intermediate Range Nuclear Force Treaty. इसमें दोनों स्टेट्स ने एग्री किया कि ये जो दरमियानी हद तक मार करने वाले मिसाइल हैं, इनको तलफ किया जाए. So therefore, they agreed on destroying this intermediate range nuclear forces and the missiles under these agreements. And they also agreed on different kind of agreements which were related to exchange of writers, sportsmen, and cultural exchange. So we saw that the relations again start coming to normalization. These meetings and developments greatly reduced the tension. Soviet Union, as a result, also withdraw from Afghanistan in 1988 ताकि ज़्यादा confidence develop हो, and therefore Soviet Union forces were asked to come back, and Afghan war came to an end. Strategic arm reduction talks to reduce nuclear weapons by 50%, and they desired to embark upon cooperation rather than confrontation. तो दोनों में again comes another kind of talks again on reducing weapons, जिसको START कहते हैं, START Strategic Arm Reduction Talks, जिसके बाद Strategic Arm Reduction Treaty वजूद में आई, जिसमें दोनों ने एग्री किया कि जो दोनों के पास न्यूक्लियाई हथियार मौजूद हैं, so they would be decreased by 50%, and they would not go for confrontation, rather the two states would go for cooperation. The Washington Summit in 1990 between Bush and Gorbachev witnessed further agreements, and as a result, these countries were again coming very close to each other. In 1990, they did many agreements on reducing again weapons, then there were trade agreements and cultural exchange visits. After Soviet Union demise in 1991, the relation between the two again became very cordial, and US announced $1 billion aid for Russia. अब चूंकि 1991 में जो खौफ था, जो खतरा था, वो खत्म हो गया. 1991 में रशिया ब्रेक हुआ. It broke into different pieces, and as a result, the power of Soviet Union was declined. It was weakened. It was destroyed, and Russian Federation emerged as a result. अब US ने काफी help शुरू कर दी, and it started giving different kind of aids to Russia, so that Russia do not become very economically weak, and therefore the weapons and the other assets become a liability, or they become a threat to the world peace. इसलिए US ने engage करने के लिए start giving different kind of aids and assistance to Russia. The two were also partners in the Gulf War against Iraq. So Soviet Union did not oppose America against Iraq, did not oppose the war. As a result, US was easily in cooperation with United Nations fought with Iraq in the Gulf War. The US Olympic team arrived in Sochi, Russia, to participate in the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. US and Russia also agreed to continue with the term of the New START Treaty from 2010 and to increase cooperation on terrorism and ISIS. So we can see that the cooperation between the two after Cold War is on the increase. Even in 2014, the American team has arrived in Russia for Olympic Games. इसके साथ they also started a new treaty which is called the New START Treaty, in which the two countries again further agreed on reducing their weapons of mass destruction, their strategic weapons. They also agreed on cooperation against terrorism and different kind of terrorist group, जिस तरह ISIS का group है. In recent years, the two countries have attempted to reset frost relations, and we see that the relations between the two countries are gaining more momentum. They are becoming more friends. जो माजी के दो दुश्मन थे, अब आपस में दोस्त बन गए हैं. इसके बावजूद कभी कभी ऐसे लम्हात आते हैं where Russia opposes United States in different kind of policies, and therefore then America has to realize that still there are countries who have interest in other region as well. But because America is a superpower, so US is still engaging Russia in different types of trade agreements and in different types of bilateral agreements, और जिसकी वजह से दोनों में ताल्लुकात अब मामूल के मुताबिक चल रहे हैं. We hope that inshallah in the near future there would be more understanding and the world would turn to a peaceful state. After US and Soviet Union relations, let us discuss about Pak-US relations. पाकिस्तान के यूएस के साथ कैसे ताल्लुकात रहे हैं. So Pakistan relationship with US is of a major importance because US is the only superpower. Pakistan established relations with US since its independence. Since 1947, Pakistan is establishing relations with United States. Liaquat Ali Khan, the Prime Minister at that time, visited America in 1950. And during his visit, he met with different officials and different state dignitaries and discussed different type of agreements and different types of relations with United States. The visit was important as it embarked a warm relation between the two countries and helped in economic cooperation and military aid because Pakistan at that time was in dire need of getting military assistance. So Pakistan was given different types of military assistance by the United States through the Marshall Plan as well. Then we see that the Cold War between Soviet Union and United States make the situation of South Asia a bit volatile. It was uncertain situation. How to stop the spread of communism in Asia? इसके लिए US established different types of organizations. Pakistan as a strategic location because on one side of Pakistan we see China and then Afghanistan and then we have a narrow belt that separate Pakistan from Russia. तो इस strategic location की वजह से US regard Pakistan as a very important country and therefore how to prevent Pakistan from expansion communism क्योंकि चाइना में भी कम्युनिज्म है, रशिया में भी कम्युनिज्म था. So therefore, how to prevent the spread of communism? As a result, Pakistan signed a mutual defense agreement with US in 1954. And also Pakistan became a member of SEATO and CENTO. SEATO, Southeast Asian Treaty Organization. So Pakistan joined this organization in 1954. And in 1955, Pakistan joined CENTO, which is Central Treaty Organization. आखिर मकसद क्या था? ये दोनों military alliances थे. They were military organization and the purpose was to prevent the communism expansion, to mutually defend and support against the expansion and attack from communism. So for this purpose, Pakistan joined these organizations and Pakistan became a very closest ally of Washington. Pakistan also provided US necessary assistance during Cold War for reconnaissance flight over Soviet territory. So because Soviet Union and US, they were at Cold War. So in order to spy over Soviet Union, Pakistan also provide military help and necessary assistance to United States planes that they can take and they can use Pakistani bases and can have flights over Soviet Union from Pakistan. तो ये पाकिस्तान ने help provide की, although it was not liked by Soviet Union at that time. Pakistan was considered one of the Washington closest allies in Asia because of all these supports and efforts. Pakistan received large amounts of economic and military aid during this Cold War from America. इसके बाद, during Pakistan-India war, when we saw the tense situation between Pakistan and India because of the war of 1965 and 1971, Pakistan was in dire need of help. Pakistan therefore asked US and its organization, जिसमें CENTO भी है, जिसमें SEATO भी है, that they should provide help to Pakistan because Pakistan was a member of this organization and also a close ally of US as well. But US did not help Pakistan at that time because US say the help would be only against communism and not against any democratic state. So therefore Pakistan expected military assistance from US being a member of SEATO and CENTO, but US did not provide any assistance, जिसकी वजह से पाकिस्तान को काफ़ी मायूसी का सामना हुआ. So rather US suspended military assistance to Pakistan. So even फौजी इमदाद तो दूर, even US blocked its assistance to Pakistan, fearing that that material, that equipments, that weapons may be used against India. After Bengal tragedy, Pakistan left SEATO as a protest because SEATO का कोई फायदा ही नहीं रहा. पाकिस्तान को हेल्प चाहिए थी, but SEATO was not of any help to provide any assistance to Pakistan. As a result, as a protest, Pakistan left SEATO in 1972. Pakistan-US relations were weaker during 1970s, when Pakistan also started its nuclear program after nuclear test in 1974. क्योंकि अब ज़ाहिर बात है, अगर इंडिया ने अपना एटमी प्रोग्राम शुरू कर दिया और बाकायदा it was a threat to Pakistan existence, therefore Pakistan was also forced to start its own nuclear program to defend itself against its strong enemy. So this nuclear program, which was started by Pakistan, was not liked by US at that time. As a result, the relation between Pakistan and US were not very cordial, were not very friendly, were not very warm during 70s. In 1979, President Jimmy Carter cut off economic assistance to Pakistan, except for food assistance due to nuclear program. So because US was suspecting that Pakistan is making nuclear bomb, जो पाकिस्तान का न्यूक्लियर प्रोग्राम है उसका मकसद न्यूक्लियर हथियार बनाना है, जिसकी वजह से उस वक्त के जो प्रेसिडेंट थे, प्रेसिडेंट जिमी कार्टर, he put a sanction on Pakistan economic assistance. Only food program was continued, and otherwise all the kinds of economic assistance were blocked by the president at that time. After Iran revolution in 1979, Pakistan also quit CENTO, क्योंकि CENTO का भी कोई फायदा नहीं रहा. CENTO also did not provide any aid to Pakistan. So in that year, there came very major changes. One, the President Jimmy Carter cut off economic assistance to Pakistan. The second, in the same year, Iranian revolution came in Iran. The third, in the same year, Pakistan also quit CENTO, and in the same year, Soviet Union also attacked Afghanistan. And the last, but not the least, Pakistan also joined NAM in the same year. लेकिन जब सोवियत यूनियन ने अफगानिस्तान में दखल अंदाजी की और वहाँ पे हमला कर दिया, again US start establishing good relation with Pakistan because now the threat can also come to Pakistan. ऐसा now Soviet Union after going through Afghanistan also entered Pakistan and spread communism. Pakistan also felt the danger. As a result, the relation between the two countries also again get normalized. And in this way, US start giving different kind of aids to Pakistan to make it strong so that it can defend itself against the Russia. Another step that US did at that time was it also lifted all the sanctions which were imposed on Pakistan, और जिसकी वजह से पाकिस्तान को काफ़ी इमदाद मिलनी शुरू हुई. In 1981, President Ronald Reagan agreed to provide $3.2 billion to Pakistan for meeting its security threats. So you can see there is a large bulge of budget that was given to Pakistan for increasing its security. US also supplied military assistance to Pakistan. In 1986, US announced $4 billion aid to Pakistan. तो ये सारी जो एड है, इसका मकसद सिर्फ और सिर्फ पाकिस्तान को इतना मजबूत बनाना था ताकि वो कम्युनिज्म को रोक सकिया. So again here the US was giving all these aids only to contain communism. But this aid also resulted in establishing warm relation between Pakistan and India. With Pakistan and US collaboration and Afghan jihad, US suffered defeat in Afghanistan, and therefore Soviet Union withdrew from Afghanistan in 1988. However, after Soviet Union withdrawal, US again showed a cold shoulder to Pakistan. अब जंग खत्म हो चुकी थी, अब सोवियत यूनियन वापस निकल चुका था, तो again US was not friendly to Pakistan. Again it started giving cold shoulder to Pakistan. The relation between the two countries again start decreasing. Again the warmth of the relationship were affected. क्योंकि अब वो जो खतरा सामने था अब वो ख़त्म हो गया है, अब वो खतरा चला गया है, and therefore US again start imposing different types of sanctions on Pakistan. So it suspended all its military assistance and economic aid in 1990 under the Pressler Amendment, which required US President to certify annually that Pakistan has no nuclear device, because US President has to certify to Congress कि पाकिस्तान के पास न्यूक्लियर हथियार मौजूद नहीं है. अगर US प्रेसिडेंट ये सर्टिफिकेट देता तब पाकिस्तान को इमदाद मिलती, लेकिन 1990 में the US president did not issue the certificate. As a result, all the military aid and all the economic assistance was blocked for Pakistan. US even also stopped the supply of F-16 fighters, for which Pakistan has already paid $650 million. तो इवन वो जहाज जिनके लिए पाकिस्तान अभी उसकी किस्त भी दे चुका था उसके सप्लाई को रोक दिया गया. वजह क्या थी? वजह ये थी कि यूएस चाहता कि पाकिस्तान अपना न्यूक्लियर प्रोग्राम रोक दे और जो वहाँ जो न्यूक्लियर साइट्स हैं वहाँ पे इंटरनेशनल इंस्पेक्टर्स को जाने की इजाज़त दे ताकि वो वहाँ पे देख सकें कि पाकिस्तान कोई न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब नहीं बना रहा. Then US would issue a certificate to Congress and Pakistan all assistance would be renewed. Then sanctions on alleged transfer of M11 missiles, in which US put sanctions on China and Pakistan because it suspects that Pakistan has taken some missiles from China, which was against MTCR,